In a nutshell, this story starts off with a baker and his wife, who are played by James Blunt and Emily... Yes. Yeah, James Blunt does a cameo in this film. Oh, okay. Whew, I wonder if anyone else has done that when they're talking about it. Hi guys, so welcome to this week's video. First things first, I have new hair. Well, I don't have new hair, I have a new colour of hair. I dyed it this week because it's been needing something done to it for ages. I got highlights about, I don't know, a year and a half ago, and they had all dried out and it was just not a good time. So I decided to dye it, and it's a little bit darker than it's been for a while, but I really like it, so I thought I'd get that out of the way first. So this week I'm going to be reviewing Into the Woods, which I went to see with Emma this week, and it was fantastic. Into the Woods is a new film that's been released by Disney. It is based on the musical by Stephen Sondheim, and it was directed by Rob Marshall. And I will be honest, I knew pretty much nothing about this film before I went in to see it, which I think in retrospect was actually a good thing. I'd heard of the musical and I'd heard a couple of the kind of main songs, but I didn't really know them particularly well, and all I really knew was what I had seen in the trailer, which was that a bunch of fairy tale characters, including Jack and the Beanstalk and Cinderella and Little Red Riding Hood and a few others, all kind of come together in this magical world, which, let's be honest, there's no way that I can get through this video without referencing Once Upon a Time, can I? I love these kind of stories where you get multiple characters from different stories pulled into the same kind of plot, and so I was really excited for that. I'd watched the trailer so many times and got so excited about seeing it, and so finally it came out on the 9th of January and Emma and I went to see it last week. First things first, the cast of this film is incredible. We've got Emily Blunt, Meryl Streep, James Corden, Johnny Depp, Chris Pine, a whole bunch of other people who absolutely nail it. Do you know, the one thing that always baffles me, and I've watched a few reviews of this film since I've seen it, and a lot of people kind of have said the same thing, that how are all of these actors such incredible singers? Like, how do you get to be an amazing actor and have that amazing singing voice? Like Meryl Streep, seriously, she's one of the best actresses of all time, and she has a singing voice that just blows your mind. I mean, I already knew about her from Mamma Mia, but you know, there's a whole bunch of other people who sang just beautifully. Emily Blunt has the most beautiful singing voice, didn't know that. Anna Kendrick, obviously from singing in Pitch Perfect, you know that she's a singer, but she was incredible. Did I mention her in my list of actors? Anna Kendrick, love her. If I didn't, that was a mistake. Okay, so in a nutshell, this film starts off with a baker played by James Corden and his wife Emily Blunt, who are childless but who desperately want to have a child. They are then approached by their neighbour, who happens to be a witch, played by the incredible Meryl Streep, who tells them that she has laid a curse on their house and they are going to remain childless unless that curse is lifted. She tells them what they have to do to lift the curse, which involves bringing to her a variety of very specific objects. These include Red Riding Hood's coat, Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk's cow. There's a few things that they have to get on this list and bring to her in order for her to break the curse so that they can have the baby that they've always wanted. So off into the woods they go, and along the way they come face to face with this big mishmash of amazing fairy tale characters. I want to keep this review as spoiler free as possible, but what I will say is that going into this film with absolutely no knowledge of what the musical was about, I should probably have guessed by the fact that it is by Stephen Sondheim, well, the music and lyrics are by Stephen Sondheim, Sweeney Todd, that kind of thing. I should probably have guessed that this wasn't your quintessentially cute Disney fairy tale, but I kind of didn't. So if you're going in with expectations of everything being absolutely lovely, prepare to be surprised, because I certainly was. I always find it really interesting to see different characters from different stories interacting in that sort of way, so I really enjoyed the kind of, you know, Cinderella bumping into, you know, Rapunzel kind of thing. You know, there's a huge variety of really interesting characters worked into this story, and it's written in a very clever way where the connections between different people, you kind of go, oh, okay, so that's who you are, and you know, it all kind of fits in really nicely. Obviously this is a musical film, so the majority of the screen time is taken up with singing. The speaking parts in this movie, where it's just dialogue that is not sung, is very sparse. There's not a whole lot of just sort of talking face to face. It's mainly the story is conveyed through song, which I really love. If you're not a fan of that though, I would avoid this film. I heard back when Les Mis came out, or the film version of Les Mis a couple of years ago, I heard of a lot of people, I had friends who worked in a cinema, and a lot of people who went in and then came out after half an hour and were like, well, no one told me it was all singing. which I don't understand. But anyway, if you're not a fan of just a straight up musical where the majority of the story is told through song, then this is probably not going to be for you, so I would advise maybe not going to see it. But if you are a fan of musicals, as I am, you will probably really enjoy this. One of the standout moments for me, which I have heard quite a few people talk about in reviews of this film, was the song Agony, which was sung by the two princes, who are played by Chris Pine, who plays Cinderella's prince, and Billy Magnussen, who plays Rapunzel's prince. And they sing a song together on top of a waterfall in an extremely dramatic fashion, and it was hilarious. They sang the song so well, they put so much passion into it that it just genuinely, you couldn't wipe the smile off your face when you were watching it, so that was a standout moment for me. Another huge big shout out has to go to Daniel Huttlestone, who is the little boy who was, if you've seen Les Miserables, he was the little boy in Les Mis, and he also stars in this film as Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk, and what a kid this is. I mean, he sings so well, he acts so well, he's just so likeable on screen, and I foresee very good things for that actor. I really do. I think he's going to have a very successful career in front of him. Overall, I was completely impressed with Into the Woods. I thought that it was a fantastic version of what I'm sure is an excellent Broadway musical. I have never seen it, but now I'm really keen to, because I think that it's a really interesting story and plot and concept, and the songs are fantastic. So if you're a fan of musicals, if you're a fan of fairy tale stories with a twist, go and see this. It's absolutely fantastic. I cannot recommend it enough. And yeah, I'm going to leave it there. I would love to know what you thought of it. If you've seen Into the Woods, let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't, let me know if you're planning to go and see it. And yeah, I'm going to leave it there. But thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye! Chandler and Monica come out and find this guy in their kitchen, and Joey's like, oh, it's just Carl. Who the hell is Carl? If you've watched it, you'll know.